Good evening, folks. This is Michael Shockman with the DM Shockman Institute, and welcome back to our next episode of BATTLETECH Simplified. In today's episode, we're going to be covering a light mech that, with the speed superior to most, and a heavy weapons loadout that can punch well above its weight class, has the ability to fight and come out on top against mechs well above that they should not be able to fight. Known as by some as the Light Lance of the Draconis Combine, this mech is a truly fearful dragon of that combine. Today we will be covering the Jenner. Introduced in 2784, the fact that the Jenner was the sole property of the Draconis Combine was long a source of national pride. Designed, produced, and for over 50 years, solely used by the Combine, the Jenner was meant to be a fast guerrilla fighter that would go on to form the foundation for highly mobile lances. 5 Smithson lifter jump jets, two in each side torso and 1 in the center torso, gave it a jumping distance of 150 meters, while its 245 rated Magna Fusion engine allowed for a top speed of over 118 kilometers per hour, making it faster than most other mechs. The drawback for the original model, however, was its armament of a Diplin HD large laser and 2 Agra 227C medium lasers, all mounted in a turret which could be easily disabled with even a single well-placed shot, while the medium lasers targeting systems proved to be bug-ridden. After some tinkering, the setup was eventually replaced with the weaponry found in the JR7D model, creating a good mixture of speed and firepower, though only 4 tons of armor provide paltry protection compared to other mechs in the same weight range. The Jenner became the standard light workhorse of the DCMS with the outbreak of the First Succession War, though its reputation would be forever tarnished following its role in the Kentares massacre. Construction of new Jenners continued in Diplin Mechyard's factory on Oswa until a raw mineral shortage caused a halt in 2815. Though they continued to produce new chassis. In 28-23, production resumed on Oswa, with some 3,000 chassis shipped to Diplin's subsidiary on Luthien for final assembly, which itself was retooling to begin full-scale production. By 28-30, however, both production lines were producing 1,350 Jenners a year. The sheer destruction of the Succession Wars finally took their toll when the last Jenner factory was destroyed in 2848. Though so many Jenners had already been produced by then that nearly every DCMS battalion had at least one of these mechs well into the war of 3039. While the other successor states eventually managed to procure operational Jenners, even AFFS regiment, or every AFFS regiment along the Combine border had at least one, the design remained in prominent use by House Kurita. A favorite tactic of Jenner Lances was to gang up on larger mechs and unleash a devastating alpha strike. 1 or 2 of the mechs would be equipped with Inferno rounds, so even if the enemy survived the first strike, they were so badly damaged and running hot that allowing for the Jenners to jump to safety and cool down. A few seconds later, the attack would be repeated until finally the enemy was finally dead. It also was common practice to pair the Jenner with another Combine mech, the Panther, creating a deadly combination of sheer speed and firepower, with the slower Panther providing cover fire for the Jenner's flanking attack. The Jenner was such a favorite among Kurita mech warriors that it became the benchmark against which all other newly designed Combine mechs were compared. While rebuilding a Jenner production line on Luthien became a top priority under Gunji no Kanrai Theodore Karita, the necessary construction time, along with inexperienced Combine engineers, meant that even with Comstar aid, this wasn't possible until 3046. The recovery of much lost technology and the Jenner's prominence within the DCMS made it a prime candidate to receive new upgrades. However, Luthien Armor Works deliberately avoided any radical changes to preserve the original core's advantage. Hence, while the JR7K began replacing the earlier model with little fanfare, it wasn't until the Jenner started to be outclassed by many other designs using superior technology that Jenner pilots began complaining. Still, there was reluctance to make any changes, and slowly many commanders began mothballing their Jenners in favor of new light mechs and omni-mechs. Since then, a few variants which utilized advanced technologies in their design have notably one based on the Clan Jenner IIC, have taken the devastation of the Jihad for many of the older K models to see for frontline service in combat again. The primary weapons system on the Jenner is 4 Agra 3L medium lasers, 2 of which are mounted directionally variable mountings on either side. These provide the Jenner with a powerful close to medium range striking capability that does not suffer from a lack of supplies when operating behind enemy lines. Though the use of only 10 heat sinks means that it has the potential to run very hot. The lasers are backed up by a Thunderstroke SRM-4 launcher in the center torso, supplied by a ton of ammo in the right torso. That can be used after breaching an enemy's armor to try and get a critical strike against vulnerable exposed internal components. As for my personal feelings on the Jenner, I have to say that while I've been playing BattleTech for many years, the Jenner was always, in earlier editions, was always one of those mechs that I kind of overlooked. Kind of saw that it was a little, it ran too hot to really be my thing. It didn't go quite fast enough to be able to be a decent scout mech or a decent spotter, and it didn't have enough armor to really be able to soak up anything. But I can say now, without a doubt, that it is by far one of the mechs that I hate going up against, especially in early game, because frankly, there's nothing quite like a pair of Jenners with their laser and missile combination to fuck up your day. Thank you so much, folks, for joining me. Hope you have enjoyed. I really appreciate all the likes, shares, and subscribes we've been getting, and I really appreciate all of you giving your wonderful comments. Know that my love goes out to you in this time, and that I really appreciate all of you. Stay tuned for next week's episode when we cover the last mech in the light category, that being the 35-ton mech weight class. And yeah, look forward to it. I'm Michael Schachman. I've been your host and commentator. And remember, no guts, no galaxy. Later, everybody.